Hi, I want to talk to you today about supermarket clematis. Things like these. £1.80, £1.70, they're always under £2, and they do sell them for a fiver, bigger plants, but in general they are cheap and cheerful. One of the advantages of supermarket plants, apart from their price, is that many of the varieties are old varieties that you don't see necessarily in garden centres. Suppliers to garden centres are always after something new, something in beautiful flower that we will be taken in by and want to buy for anywhere between £15 and £25, some of them. Hugely expensive, whereas you can grow your own and grow one of the older varieties, which these often are, much more cheaply. One of the things I object to, though, about supermarket clematis is the inadequate instructions that they're provided with. All imply that you can take them home and plant them in the ground. In fact, some of the instructions are quite specific along those lines. And your chances of these surviving the first winter, or even not even reaching the first winter in your garden soil, are not great. That's because they would be competing with lots of other mature plants, pests, all sorts of things that are in the soil that they're not used to because they're too young. The root system that they will have is about that size. Now, this is a plant that I deliberately knocked the compost off a week or so ago to let it dry out to show you. That's the sort of sized root that these plants will have. It's quite small. I have cuttings that I took earlier this year that have root systems just as big as this. I certainly wouldn't deem them suitable to be put out in the garden as yet. If you buy a clematis that is a 3-year-old plant, it will have a root ball like that, and that's far better suited to gathering the water and therefore the nutrients that it needs, and also to be able to survive what's in your garden soil and make the most of it. So what do you do when you buy one of these plants? If you have a greenhouse, you keep them over the winter in the greenhouse, and if you don't, you put them in a sheltered spot in the garden. But my view is that you should repot them first. These are quite small pots. They will get very frosted in the winter. A larger pot will provide more protection. And also it means you can put them in compost of your choice with the nourishment that they will need to grow on in the spring. Now, all these plants, this is Dark Eyes, Romantica, and this is Carnaby. I think Carnaby's actually produced a flower. These plants will be less than a year old. Carnaby is one that will flower early in the summer, and the received wisdom is that you don't prune these, you just tidy them up. Well, I'm not growing these on for flowering next year. I'm growing them on to develop good root systems. I know good root systems is not as attractive and sexy as a flower, but it's necessary if you want your plant to last a number of years and to provide you with lots of flowers. So let me first take the plastic ties off. There we are. I'll take the cane out as well so that we can have a good look at the plant. Now, Carnaby has one long single stem, but it also has a couple of small ones here. I'm going to do, well, look away if you are of a nervous disposition. I'm afraid I'm going to prune. You may think I'm going to butcher, but I've pruned it. I'll also take it out of the pot, and because these have been grown in greenhouses and probably quite sunny spots, the top of the compost has gone quite crusty. And you can see the root there. It's not that big, but for a young plant that's fine. I'll pot this on into something larger. Now that's a 1 litre pot, which is perfectly fine for that. It will grow on for another year. Feed it in decent compost and it will thrive. I'm going to put it in a larger pot because I don't think you need to go quite as incremental as that. That is a 2 litre pot, and that's a 3 litre pot. It doesn't matter to me which one you use. I'll use the 2 litre pot for this. And I'm using a mixture of compost which I buy locally. I'm afraid it is a peat-based one, but it's a very open one, so it gets lots of nutrients, lots of oxygen in. And one of the things that young plants need is oxygen. If you use a heavy clay soil or a loam that will compact, even a John Innes one I don't particularly like, there's not a lot of air in them. And I think young plants thrive better in a more fibrous compost where they can breathe. I add to my composts some Osmocote. It's a granular feed, a bit like Miracle Grow that you would use for your displays of bedding plants in tubs or pots. This is a 12 to 14 month slow release. It only works when the temperature is 70 or above. But in a greenhouse that's likely to be quite a lot of the year, and certainly in spring when the weather warms up, the fertilizer will kick in and provide the feed for the plant at a time when it's going to need it, when it too wants to grow and respond to the warmer weather. It will also be active now. It's the beginning of October, but it will very soon fall off and go dormant, so it's not going to damage the plant in the winter at all as the plant goes dormant. This is Romantica. Now Romantica is a late flowering one. I'll take it out of its polythene. I've already put labels in these. I use yellow labels for the plants that I grow, so I've used a white one just so that I know this is a supermarket one that I bought for demonstration purposes. That's got a weed growing in it. Let's take this one out of its pot. So that one's got quite a good root system, but again not adequate in my view for going in the ground. I mean, if you do put these in the ground, you might get 1 or 2 of them to survive and to grow, but I don't think you get any of them to thrive, and many of them would die. What you're doing by potting them on in good compost like this is growing them on to get a very vigorous root ball, and in the long run that's going to provide you with a much better plant than if you just put it in the garden, even if it does survive. I'll take the stem out because, like the other one, I want this to produce more than one stem. So I'm going to cut it down and see what the beginning of the plant looks like. Now this isn't bad. It's got a number of stems already. Many of the supermarket ones you buy will have 2 stems, and that's because as young plants, like this one, this is one I've grown, This is a grandiflora. I'll just put that on one side for a minute. And again, I've left this for demonstration purposes. They will tend to produce one leader that's stronger than the other, and it will get away, because all plants want to do is to grow high, flower, be pollinated to attract the seeds. So they don't need lots of stems to do that. But we gardeners are greedy, so I'm going to take off the growing tip of that one to force it to produce more stems. And the stems come from the joints where the leaves meet the stem. In there are dormant buds called nodes, and if you cut above them, those nodes then will receive the nutrient that the long one was receiving, and you will get two stems as a result of it. So applying the same principle, because there are 4 here, they will each now produce from the nodes 2 more stems, and that will probably be sufficient for the plant. I don't want too many stems, because the root system is still not very big, and it won't support all those stems. It needs to pump water and nutrients up the stem and deal with the starches that come down and feed the roots. So it's quite an intricate system, which I don't want to overload. But that will grow on well in the winter, and I'll prune it again next year. I might get the odd flower later on in the year, but that's not the purpose. As I say, the purpose is to produce a really good root system, and that will be planted out the year after next. You can keep these in pots, you don't have to plant them out. This is a 10-litre pot with holes in the bottom, and what you could do is to plant more than one of these clematis in it. I've got 3 over here, and again, because I've cut them down, they will produce multi-stems and grow away. And if I put a wigwam of canes in this pot, they will grow on next year. I'll prune them again, they will grow on the following year, produce flower, and produce a lot of flower with 3 plants. After 3 or 4 years in here, all the roots will have taken up the space, and I will then either plant it in the ground or put it in a larger pot. It's up to you whether you want to put different varieties of clematis in here that have slightly different coloured flowers but complement each other, or whether you want to go for a zingy display of flowers that are totally different, or whether you want to plant the same clematis 3 times to have an intensity of the one colour. It's a matter of personal choice. Again, these can go outside if you don't have a greenhouse, and because it's a bigger pot, it'll provide the clematis with more protection. You could actually put some bubble wrap around if you think it's going to be a very cold spell, but clematis by and large do cope with frost. Many of the growers in Estonia and Scandinavia grow clematis in conditions that are far colder than we get in this country, and they have some fantastic clematis, so I wouldn't worry unduly about that. Well, I hope that's been helpful. I don't want to put you off from buying these. On the contrary, I think they complement what you can buy in garden centres very well, a mixture of new cultivars and old cultivars. But please treat these as if they are very young plants that need a nursery, rather than just be plunged into the garden and expected to do their thing. Stay safe. Bye.